Hello and welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. As you know, we care about young lives, crafting young lives, imparting lessons which are anchored on moral values. In our day to day life, we encounter so many situations where we are faced with difficult choices to make. Choices about one's career, choices about one's relationship, choices about money, and so on. What do we do? How do we handle such difficult decisions? Everybody advises us to take the right decision. But what are these anchors which decide a right decision versus not a right decision? I came across a beautiful story in the Mahabharata, which is a great epic read and continuing for many years. In one of the parts of Mahabharata, there is a beautiful story about a conversation that the eldest Pandav, who is Yudhisthir, has with a crane near a pond. This story, many of you would have heard about it. It's popularly known as Yaksha Prashna. That means the question and answers between an Yaksha, which is a demigod, and Yudhisthir. So all these conversations, questions and answers give us a tremendous amount of insight into what's right and what's not. But the point is about the difficult choice that Yudhisthir had to make in this particular story. Let me describe this. So Pandavas had finished their 12 years of stay in the jungle. They were about to enter into the last phase of the punishment that they had to go through. The last phase of that 1 year was to live incognito. So they were thinking about their plans for the next 1 year. They were roaming around in the jungle. They felt tired. Yudhisthir sat down with his brothers and Draupadi under a tree. Yudhisthir asked Nakul to look for some water and get it because everybody was thirsty. So Nakul went around. He found, fortunately, a body of water. He was about to drink some water for himself and collect water for the rest of the group. But that time, Nakul heard a voice which was coming from somewhere not to drink that water. That voice said, "You answer some of my questions and then you can drink that water. If you try to drink the water before answering the questions, you will die." But Nakul didn't believe this voice because he could not see anyone in front of him. So he took a sip of water, but he collapsed. And that time, the group was getting restless with thirst, and then Yudhisthir sent Sahadev, their youngest brother, in search of water, and Nakul. Some time elapsed and didn't find water, didn't find Nakul and Sahadev. Then Yudhisthir sent the other two brothers, Bhima and Arjun, to fetch Nakul, Sahadev and water. And again some time passed and none of them returned. So Yudhisthir himself went in search of his brothers and water. He reaches this water body and is shocked to find all his 4 brothers collapsed near that water body. Yudhisthir just couldn't believe what he was seeing. He asked the water body, "Are you responsible for this?" Then Yudhisthir heard a voice again that all these people didn't listen to me. I have some questions. I own this water body. If you don't answer my questions, you would also find the same fate as your other brothers. So Yudhisthir said, the water belongs to you. I cannot take a property which belongs to someone else. So if this is the condition, I am fine with this condition. Go ahead and ask those questions. So there were many questions which were coming, and Yudhisthir could see only a crane in front of him in the bank of that pond. But the questions were deep, and Yudhisthir were answering one after the other. The crane was happy with the answers, and finally the voice came that, dear, you are a wise man. Maybe in years ahead I'll not find such a wise man like you. So I grant you a boon that amongst these 4 people I can vitalize one of them. Choose one. Yudhisthir thought for a while and said, I want Nakul. The crane asked him, why do you want Nakul? Yudhisthir said, I have 2 mothers, Kunti and Madri. I am Kunti's son, I am alive. But I want at least one of the sons of my other mother, whose Madri. Nakul is one of her sons. So I would like Nakul to live like I am living. So then the crane appeared before him as a Yaksha, who was identifying himself as his father, as Dharma, who said, I am very happy with the way that you have made the choice. So all the 4 who didn't listen to me, though all of them have gone through the 12 years of experience in the jungle and have grown as human beings, couldn't believe this particular plot, and all of them committed a mistake while you were able to make the right choice in your life. I am impressed with the way you decide the way of living. I am your father Dharma, so you have understood Dharma properly. I am happy with you, and all the 5 of you now live together and do your best. That is the story. Interesting, it was very difficult choice for Yudhisthir to make, because his most favorite brother was Bhim. But he didn't want Bhim to be vitalized. He knew that Arjun is the best warrior that he had. But he didn't ask for Arjun's life. He asked Nakul's life because he decided what is right. Many decisions that we take in our lives, we take because of certain connection, certain emotional burden that we carry on our shoulders. We are not able to think intuitively, not able to think objectively. The intuitive decisions sometimes that we make are marked with the emotions and the overhang of the previous impressions that we carry in our minds. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, it's a very deep and intense lesson. If you think about it again and again, you would recognize that many a time in our lives, every day almost, we encounter this situation where we have to make some difficult decisions